Let me count down, and then we'll get started. I think I've got everything set, prepped, ready. So here we go. In three, two, one. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. Oh wait, no wait, it's not Eric, it's Matt. I'm sorry. It still says Eric there, so I was just reading the
How
script.
about
Let's go on
that?
autopilot.
I was just reading the script, you say the same
Eric,
thing.
Did you change your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, a
That's
little
how it
up
always
top.
looks.
I got some surgery done here, here.
And colored it. You colored your hair. Yeah. Yeah, so that's all right. Yeah.
We took the hair from here to here.
Oh, that's how
Makes
that
more
works.
sense,
Is that like when you get the hair back on your head? They take it from your rear end and put it up, or your legs or
Yeah,
whatever, and put
yeah,
it up on
yeah.
your. I always find that funny that everybody's like, "This is my real hair." Yeah, it is. It came from somewhere else on your body.
Parts unknown.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know at all. No, don't ask, don't tell. That's fine. Whatever. It's fine. To each his own. I'm all right with that. But no. Eric had some things to do this weekend, so I asked Matt to come back and set in. So I'm glad you were able to. I know we're starting a little later than we usually do, but for the live listeners, but for you at home listening to it on whatever you get your podcasts on, you won't know what time we started. So.
It was
It's actually 3 a.m. We're
PM.
super dedicated.
Oh my gosh!
No way.
I tell you what, when 2 weeks ago, my wife, be 2 weeks ago Tuesday, my wife broke her leg. I literally got up that Tuesday morning at 4:30, drove and did a bunch of work. A couple hours away from here, came back, then we had some running to do, then we ate dinner, then she fell and broke her leg, then we went to the emergency room, then they sent her to another emergency room an hour away, and then they did surgery in the morning, and then I finally got home Wednesday at 7:30 in the evening to go to bed, and that was the first time I'd slept in like 36 hours. I cannot do that crap anymore.
No.
When I was 20 years old, I could do that all the time. It was no big deal. But man, it was, in the movies where things start to get gray on the edges and it kind of dims out when they're in. When I pulled in the driveway, that's exactly what was happening. It was just like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I made it home because I'm going. And I did. I just went, boom. I told her, I said, I'm just going to go home and sleep a couple hours and I'll come back. Yeah, I didn't get up till like 9 o'clock the next morning. I was very, very tired, but yeah, I
I
can't.
hope you chose a good last meal there before all that.
No, I don't think I ate at all, actually. I think I
Oh,
just went to
no.
bed. I ate that afternoon while she was having, or that morning while she was having surgery, and I think that was the last time I ate. So, I don't know. It's been crazy, so I haven't really played a whole lot. I did play Sea of Thieves, and I know, Nathaniel, you said you had some interest in it, but you don't have Windows 10.
Yeah, I have about this much interest in it.
Yeah.
Looking at it is like a game that I would play for maybe a weekend if I had friends to play it with.
Well, that's the thing.
5
If
minutes
you
if
have
I was by itself.
if you have friends to play with, it's a lot better game. But I mean, even at that, it's really sparse, and there's not a whole lot to do in it.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch of videos on it, so I'm kind of familiar at least with a general idea of what is in there. I'm like, that doesn't seem like there's tons in there.
No, and what's bad is I played enough of the two alphas and thought, okay, well, this is an alpha or a beta, whatever it was, so there's not a lot of content in it. So I'm not, I understand that. But then when the game launches and it felt exactly like the alpha or beta, I was like, okay.
It seems like a game that'll be really great in a year once they add a bunch of stuff to it.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's if I was, it's why I'm glad I did Game Pass for it, because I did 14 days. I had a 14-day free trial, and if you put it on automatic renewal, you got an extra month. So technically, I'm not going to get charged till like May something for it. And I may cancel it. I may actually keep it because there is a few games on there that I haven't played that I don't have that I would like to play. That Super Lucky Tales is on there, and all the Gears of War are on there if you haven't played those, and the Halos, and I mean there's a lot of cool stuff on there, and they're always adding games, and a lot of it's going to depend on if my buddies get Sea of Thieves or get it and get Sea of Thieves, which none of them have yet. they're
Did you
going.
get-
Yeah, I hear it's
Yeah,
perfect for
patch.
just kind of like popping into and relaxing when there's
Yeah.
nothing you really want to play.
Yeah.
Like a hangout game.
Yeah, and if you got a bunch of people that play it, it's cool because you can just go do whatever you want. They just kind of drop you and say go. I played it a little bit by myself, just to kind of float around and see what was going on. And there was lots of times I never bumped into a single other person.
Wow.
And
Is there like a main goal, or you just kind of dropped in and it's like, here's a world?
nope, here's the world. Go do whatever you want. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no.
like some quests you can pick up of like go get some treasure or go do these
Yeah,
things.
there's like
and then you bring
3
stuff back and get money, and that's about all you do.
Yeah, there's like
Three
three.
different versions of that.
There's 3 different factions that you can level up with, kind of like with Destiny and stuff. And one of them's like one of the quests is go get 2 chickens and deliver them to this guy. So you have to go to islands and find these specific chickens and things like that. What's funny about the game is, and I'd forgotten about it, is PvP is on all the time. So people can either be really, really cool or they can just be dicks. And the first night, people were dicks. It was, I mean,
No one knows what they're doing. Let's just
Yeah.
cross them. Yeah.
well, and there was a group of guys who were doing nothing but floating around, just finding everybody they could and just blowing them up and then killing them. And what was funny was, I was by myself just dinking around, just trying to get a feel for the controls and what to do with the buttons and sorting through things and navigating on the map and everything like that. So, because it's not the easiest game to figure out. Well, you got to go downstairs in your boat and pull up this map, and okay, I got to go here. And it's kind of northwest. So then you get on the boat, and then you got to steer the boat, and with the I mean, it gets kind of complicated.
It's supposed to be a multiplayer game, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to have.
You're
like,
supposed
4
to have
people.
4 people, so
Like,
you can
you're steering,
yeah,
you're navigator.
One person's a lookout, so you can see where you're going and not hitting things. It's very difficult by yourself on a little boat, which is not bad, but I was just trying to get things down pat before I hop in with a bunch of friends and be like, what do I do? So
Eat bananas.
yeah, so I'm
Play music.
You gotta
Yeah.
fight that scurvy.
well. What's funny is I went to this island. It was night, and there was an outpost that I passed, and some people were on the outpost, bombing it. With cannons, so I just kind of went on past, didn't think anything about it. Well, they turned and started to follow me, and there was 2 of them, 2 guys on one boat. And with Xbox, when you get near people, you can hear them talking, and they can hear you talking. But I didn't have a headset on, so I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. So they started bombarding the boat, and I just jumped off while it was still going near an island, and they sunk it. And they were like, well, did we kill him? I don't know. Well, let's see if we can find him. Okay. And I could hear him talking the whole time. And so here it is night on the island, and I see a shadow kind of pop into the water. So I take a pop shot at him, and then I hear him go, ooh, he tried to shoot me. He tried to shoot me. And so then I swim all the way around the island. It was a small island, while one of them stayed on the boat. The other one was on the island trying to find me. And he was like, did you find him? No. Did you find him? I haven't found him yet. He's around here somewhere. The whole time I swum around and climbed up the ladder on the back of the boat, their boat, while the guy was standing at the end with these, looking, and the other guy's on the island. I just walk up behind him and shoot him in the face about 3 times, and he dies. And then I hear the guy going, he's on the boat, he's on the boat, he's on the boat. So I was like, yeah.
One of my favorite things I've seen from videos is all like having a team of people fighting, and then somebody sneaks out to try and get onto the enemy
Yeah.
boat, plants an explosive barrel in the hold and blow it up. All that kind of hijinks.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Well, I was kind of caught off guard, so I didn't have everything on me that I needed. But now it's
Yeah.
like before I leave port, I'm like, let me hook this, let me hook that, let me have this. So
Flintlock, saber,
Yeah.
another flintlock, third
let me,
flintlock.
if something happens and somebody tries to gank me again, if I'm out by myself, I could really screw with them. Oh, it was hilarious. So I mean, but it'll be very fun with a group of guys. But I don't see, with what content is in the game right now, I don't see where it's going to be in a month I'm going to go, man, you're still playing Sea of Thieves? Let's go.
If they keep adding stuff to it regularly, that'll help it.
Yeah, but I totally understand people's complaints with it being a $60 game because it really doesn't feel like a $60 game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Kraken was one of the things that was supposed to be a big thing that's in here, and it's stupid.
Yeah,
I saw
it's
a
just
video of it.
tentacles
It's
in
tentacles
water.
that don't even do a whole lot. They just sort of hover there, and there's a bunch of them, way more than any sea monster would have,
Yeah.
way spread out. They don't even really move
Well-
all that much. And every once in a while, they'll pick someone up and throw them off the boat. But it's kind of like, yay.
Yeah.
Where's its face?
Well,
Why is it
yeah,
not
and I've
popping my boat up and trying to sink it.
Well, and I've seen people swim under the water and there's nothing there but just tentacles floating in the water. There's no body underneath of it. So, there's not even a finished. Well, I don't even know if it's supposed to be finished, but there's nothing
Yeah.
underneath
That's the
of it.
lore. Maybe the Kraken is just a collection of
Maybe
floating tentacles.
it's
Maybe.
only
That's-
visible when it hits the air. When it's underwater, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Did
it's.
you get the,
What's
did you
that?
get the day one patch?
No, I haven't yet. Mm-mm.
The eye patch?
The eye
joke?
patch with the one on it. Yeah, a day one patch. I thought that was pretty hilarious. But
If there's player trading, that's going to be one of the more sought after items.
yeah, because it's only up for so long. So
Yeah.
and then it's out. So.
Does it affect anything? Other
No,
than
it's
cosmetic?
just a funny day one patch is all it is. Eye patch.
It would be fun if they had VR integrated and putting that one turned VR off.
Oh my gosh,
On the side.
that would be hilarious. I would like to see live footage of the people moving around with it.
But basically, long story short, it sounds like it's a game where the strengths is the interactions with other players.
It is.
But in order to balance the griefers, you hardly ever see anyone because everyone's going to be killing you.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean that's been my experience so far. Like I said, what little bit of it I've played, but it's just so sparse. That's the thing. There's just not. There's all these places on the map, and then you get there, and they're like little tiny islands, like this big around, with hardly anything on them, or maybe a couple of skeleton monsters or something like that, or nothing at all but chickens running around.
Seems like they have a good bare bones platform
Mm-hmm.
for a game that has a little bit there that once they add a whole lot more to it, that in a year's time, if they do that, it'll look a whole lot different than it does right
Yeah,
now.
and like I said, right now, if you got four guys and you're all playing, it's a blast to play like that. Now is it a long-term blast that you want to play it every day and level up and no, maybe not even for me. Maybe not even once. Maybe once a week on a Saturday or
Yeah.
something. But
From what little I know, there's not any really long-term progression that really means much of anything that I know.
there's
of.
just those 3 guilds you can level up, and there's not really anything other than you could buy some cool uniforms and things like that. I mean, it's nothing.
So it's kind of sad sounding because I was hoping it was going to be like Eve online, but pirates.
Eh,
So it's like, oh, you want this island? It's your island.
it's more like skimpy Destiny with pirates. I mean,
Oh my
and you
God.
think,
how can,
and you
how
think
can you
it.
get skimpier than death?
Yeah, it is. It is skimpier
Oh.
than Destiny. Yeah, that's the thing. There is less content than Destiny.
Destiny
Wow.
looks like it
Oh.
has tons and tons of crap by comparison.
Oh yeah, it does. Destiny seems like a huge full game. Well, it's like Farsender says. It reminds him of No Man's Sky. I've seen a lot of people kind of say it's kind of like No Man's Sky at launch, but I think No
And yet
Man's
No
Sky
Man's
was
Sky
even
at
better.
launch
at
had
launch.
more than this,
Yeah,
I think.
That's exactly what I was going to say. But they still had more. At least I had
Anything-
all kinds
but
of
it had a
worlds
lot.
I could go
Yeah.
to. Yeah, the worlds may be sparse, but there was a bunch of different worlds to go to.
Well, even if you just stayed on one world, all the just different mechanics you could do, they might not have been fun after a while, but it was still stuff to do.
Yeah, I
So, I don't
think.
know. I think this is Sea of Thieves is much better base to build on.
Mhm.
It just doesn't have that much in it. Just
Seems they
just
forgot
for
the
a long
game part of it.
You'll have
Yeah.
a lot of fun for a while, and then it'll be like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they continually bring out content that will keep it going
I
because
think that's supposed to be the plan. Is just how fast are they going to be able to keep
Yeah.
up with it?
well, that's one thing I told somebody on Twitter or something like that. They were complaining about lack of content. I said, well, I haven't heard of anything or anybody saying that new additional content will be paid. like a season pass or expansions or things like that. Of course, there hasn't been any talks of that, but if they keep bringing out new content and most of it is free for at least the first year, I think it will go over a whole lot better with it. You could forgive a skimpy game with content coming out every month or every couple of weeks or something like that you don't have to additionally pay for. But in 3 months that they go, well, we'll give you this, 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 and this. Now we got a good foundation. The first expansion is going to cost $29.99, and it's going to actually, then people will probably, pitchforks and fire sticks, but
Yeah.
Fire sticks.
fire
Torches.
sticks, torches. That's what I was
All
trying to think of.
torches.
Torches. Fire bad.
Oh,
Yeah, but I mean, if I had if a couple of my friends got it, we'd have a real blast. Now, one thing I did figure out, which is kind of interesting, if you do Game Pass on the Xbox, you get the PC version for free because it's a Xbox Games Anywhere. Xbox Game Pass works like Xbox Live, so with any profiles or accounts that you have on your Xbox, you can use those games that you downloaded. So what's funny is if the wife wants to say, hey, I'd like to play Sea of Thieves with you, no problem. You log into your account on the Xbox, boot up Sea of Thieves, I'll come down here on the PC and boot it up under my account, and we can play together.
Well, that's
Without
awesome.
having to buy another
Nice.
system or another game, copy of the game, or another subscription or something like that. So that's kind of cool. And just looking at the Windows Store, there's quite a few quite a few games on the Games Pass on PC. Anything that's on PC, Microsoft, you can get on here. So you can get Gears of War, you can get Halo, you can get stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's kind of a little trick to. If you want to, if you have a significant other, you have a kid or, a roommate or whatever you have that, in the house that may want to play, or a friend comes over or something like that. One can play on the PC and one can play on the Xbox under another account, and you can play together. So that's
Hopefully
pretty
that's
cool.
the way it's supposed to be and not an oversight that they will fix later.
I'm sure that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it specifically said, I was looking on the frequently asked questions on Game Pass, and it said it works just like Xbox Live. So any account on that, you don't have to buy another thing of
Yeah.
Game Pass. It transfers over to it. So that is definitely cool. So. But yeah, and I put Yakuza 6 down there. I really haven't had a chance to play it very much, other than the last time I played it. But yeah, my goal now that
I was
Nikki
looking
is,
forward to an update.
well, unfortunately I don't have one to give. I haven't even had enough time with it to even write a review. The embargo was up a week ago, and I still even haven't had time to play it enough for a review. So my goal this week is whatever day nobody is streaming on the channel, I am going to try to stream that evening once I get Nikki settled in and asleep or restful, that she's going to not have to get up for a couple hours. I'm going to come downstairs, do a little streaming of me playing Yakuza or Shenmue or something. I haven't decided what I'll get into, and hopefully by the weekend I'll have enough of it that I'm going to have my review up. So, but that's all I've been doing. I haven't even looked to see what everybody else has been playing. Ooh, Nathaniel, you got Ni no Kuni too. I got it as well. I haven't even I installed
I got
it.
it kind of on a little bit of a whim because I saw the reviews of it. I was like, when's this come out? Oh, it came out today. Okay.
Well, I'd
I'll go
forgot
pick
about
up
it.
after work.
I pre-ordered the premium edition back in August and paid for it on Amazon and stuff, and then I totally forgot about it. And I saw the things on Twitter, and then I've been so busy. I came home Friday from work, and I was like, "What's this Amazon Prime package in the box?" I opened it up, and was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot Ni no Kuni came out." So I've installed it on the PS4, but I have yet to boot it up yet. I probably won't for a little while. But so what do you think of it? Because did you play the first one on PS3?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not play the first one. It was one that I saw.
Do you
when it
feel
came
lost at
out.
all?
No. I mean,
Good.
from what I understand, they're completely different.
Yeah, they are. I think
Oh,
even
good,
like
good.
some of the play style is different on this one than it was on the other one.
Oh
I
yeah, it
believe.
definitely is because the first one was turn-based, wasn't it, for the combat?
was kind of like
It was a mixed turn-based.
Sort of.
almost real-time Pokemon.
Because
Yeah.
this is not turn-based anything at all.
Yeah.
You're running around and you have like a light attack and a heavy attack, and then you have buttons you can press for skills or magic, like abilities that you have, and then a few other things that you. But it's all just like chaos running around. You're not pulling anything from a menu. Although if you have to pause the game and heal yourself, you can do that. They have like you can go into your inventory and use items, but each type of item has so many that you can use per battle, which is silly because the game is easy.
Yeah.
It, so far, is not difficult at all. There's been a couple of fights that's pushed me a little bit, but for the most part, it's just like, hey, I can beat up on stuff and kill it. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But that's not to say that it's not fun. It's really fun. I like it a lot so far. I played about a dozen hours of it or so.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I played quite a bit of it this weekend.
I loved the first one. I absolutely loved it. The art style, the story, everything really got me. And I think it came out at a good time too. If I remember, seemed like it was January or February when it came out on PS3. I don't remember, but it seemed like there was nothing else at the time, and I really sunk a lot of hours in it.
Yeah.
But
this game, so far, the story's not too bad, although I don't like the main character.
Oh no.
So he's like, the game keeps trying to switch him back to be the leader of the party after, a certain like cutscene or something.
Yeah.
And you have to beat them or something. Like, no, I'm going back to this other guy. And it's really weird too. So like they have fully done cutscenes that are voiced. Then they have kind of just your standing in world talking to people and has Zelda text show up.
Yeah.
And then they sometimes randomly, every once in a while, have that Zelda text will be voiced, like completely every word. But they'll do it like a couple lines, and then they'll go back to just normal, like the text will keep going, the scene.
I hate it when
and
they
there'll be
do
no
that.
more voices again. I'll be like, just record a few more lines when you have
Yeah.
them in there, and do the whole little conversation.
You had 20 more gigs on this disc.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
mean, most of the time it's fine. It's just this little weird thing where you're like, why did you even just record it there? Or you either just don't or do the whole
Yeah.
conversation. Why'd you do half of it?
See, Yakuza does that sometimes. You'll have a big cutscene with a lot of talking and voice acting and stuff like that, and then it'll cut to a in-game screen with just text, and then it'll cut back, that you got to read and hit X and go through, and then it'll cut back to another cutscene again. You're like, why didn't you just have a long cutscene? Why did you have to do?
Yeah. Well, this is a little different where you're in game, and then it also does voiceover there with that.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes, every once in a while. And the thing that makes it more annoying is the voice acting's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
the
it was
voices
the
are
last
really
time.
good. And you're like, if you're gonna do it, just keep going because I want to hear more of the crazy accents you've got.
Yeah.
You've got like Irish and I don't know what all weird stuff. It's not just like all British voices like you seem to normally get with this kind of a game, or British accents if you do the English track.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's got a real good mix of characters. I don't like the main character because he's got stupid high-pitched anime boy voice that I don't like.
I hate that.
But he doesn't talk all that often. But yeah, the story is it's a little more juvenile aim. It's not the demographic it's going for isn't super high,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be like a really young kid's game because it's super complicated with all a bunch of different systems as far as just the amount of information you got to keep. Like each little thing isn't really difficult to do. It's just there's a lot that you can keep track of.
Right. And that's why I haven't started it yet, because if I just barely play it a little bit, I won't be able to
It
keep
eases
going.
you in.
So.
It eases you into it. Like you don't even get side quests until like 8 hours in.
Oh, well, that's good.
Jeez. The first one started out really dark, with the mother dying. Is there anything similar to that in this one?
A little bit. Like you're this kid who's the king of what's the something Dell? I forget the name of the kingdom.
Yeah,
I
can't
think it was in the
remember
first one too.
something.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a while.
your father has died before the game even started, and then you inherited it, and then there's a coup to take over, and the first part of the game is you escaping with a newfound friend that came from a really weird place that I was not expecting because the game starts out and I was like, wait, what?
Cleveland.
Why are we here? Like,
Did you say Cleveland?
Yeah, it's always
I
Cleveland,
mean-
man.
Cleveland rocks.
if they had put a little title on the screen that said Cleveland 9 p.m. or something, it would not have felt out of place, which is really
That's
weird.
hilarious.
So there's There's that. But yeah, you escape, and then the whole rest of it is trying to establish your new kingdom because you have to go get like this creature that says you're worthy of being a king. A kingmaker, I think is what they call them. And then you start your own kingdom. And then part of the game is building out your kingdom. So you have your castle, and you have a bunch of buildings that you build around it that then let you do research on crafting better items, learning new spells, all that. And then you upgrade your castle to get more territory to build new buildings. Then you also have just kind of the running around in the overworld and the fighting and stuff just as your party that's kind of normal for what you would think of. And then you also have this weird skirmish mode where you're controlling little army thingies and going around and having bigger battles. There's a lot of crazy stuff in this game.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a bunch of different, almost little sub-game genres, kind of.
Yeah. So, like, once you get to the part where there's side quests, it's all about recruiting people to join your new kingdom. And they all have different types of skills and things that will help. So you're like, hey, I'm going to assign you to this shop because you have a thing that will give me bonus, production or whatever over here. You're really good on the farm. You go over to this place, so I'll get more stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit of management sim light for
Yeah.
your kingdom building stuff. But it's still got the really cool art style. A lot of it, every once in a while, it has just a really dumb JRPG thing that happens. I'm like, oh, you're pulling me out of it. I like the Studio Ghibli style anime stuff that was going on, and then you do something dumb. I'm like, nope, stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the first one so much, and when they said this one was coming out on PS4, I just went order. I'll play it at some point. I gotta have it. So
it's really fun. It's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
At least so far. And I don't know, I kind of enjoyed that. It's something you can keep going. You don't have to think too hard about it, but it's not mindless, like you're just going normally.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay attention a little bit, but just the right.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't need the Dark Souls game, but I don't need something simple. I like something, it's easy but has a good story, and sucks me in, and I want to play it.
It's like comparing it to was the thing that came out on Switch in December that my brain is failing me right now, the JRPG.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade is like vomit on the screen, kind of like, look at all this crap everywhere. It's super complicated. Look at all this insane stuff. We're going to tell you half of how it works once, and then you just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You can't even see the original tutorial anywhere. This game is like, nope. We'll tell you. You have a thing in your menu that you can go look it up, and none of it is overly complicated. It makes sense even when you're just trying to interact with it. And the most will be like, wait, what was the button that would do that thing? Oh, okay, I just went and looked it up. Good, I'm awesome. It's very well organized. The menus are great, and just everything works well. It's a very good user experience. Xenoblade, not so much.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of times with games like that, if it's a big Japanese RPG, I'll go, well, let me buy the strategy guide, 1, for the art in it, and 2, so I can remember how to do things, and I go back and go, how did I do this and that? And Xenoblade didn't have a strategy guide, so it was like, I got halfway through and went, or not halfway through, I got in it and went, I can't remember how to do this. Let me pull up a tutorial. Oh, wait, there's no tip on how to do this again. And there's no, oh crap, I've got to go look it up online and see if somebody made a note about it somewhere. It's like, but yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I don't know, it just seems like a simple thing that every game should have in it.
I mean, it's not like this game doesn't have a lot of different things in it. It's just they're well organized and everything is pretty intuitive when you're messing with it, that you can keep it in your head fairly well.
Yeah.
And it's not like anything's overly complicated where you've got all this different crazy stuff. It's like, okay, you have your party screen, so you can change order. You have your equipment, so you can change out what weapons and what gear, armor you have, and you can switch out your skills.
Yeah.
It's all lots of different things, but it's all organized to where if you've ever played anything this type of game before, you're not going to get lost at all.
Yeah.
And even if you haven't, it's organized pretty well to teach you that you'd be fine with it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. I'm glad you got it because, like I say, it's a good game, and it's gotten a lot of good press since it, before it came out too, which is always a good thing. So I'm hoping it sells well, and they'll do another one on the next PlayStation PC system. It takes them forever to do those games, and I understand why, because there's so much in it and the art style and everything like that. It's not a game that they'll bring out every two or 3 years. It takes time. So
Yeah, I mean
Cool.
that's like any game too. So
yeah, it is.
but it's definitely been nice having this art style just because it's different than anything
Yeah.
I've been playing recently. So it's just
I love
Right.
that art style. Yeah, when I saw it on the first one on the even on the PS3, and going back and playing it on the PS3 now, it still looks that kind of art style holds up and still
Yeah.
looks good. So
I'd be willing to bet the first game, other than just like resolution wise, probably looks a little better, just because Studio Ghibli actually was involved in that one, whereas this one they're not,
yeah,
from what I understand. But it still looks great.
it's still a cool game. So what else you been playing? Anything interesting?
I watch all of the no clip documentaries that go up, and they just put one up on Warframe this past week.
Oh, did they?
One night I was like, I'm gonna try Warframe just because, and I played, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours of it. So not very much by any means, because like if you're way into Warframe, you're playing hundreds of hours of it.
Yeah,
Very much a games of service, Destiny, Division, that style of game.
yeah.
It's very much like Destiny in some aspects, where you have different missions, you go out and you're killing things and you're getting loot. The way you get loot in Warframe is to craft it all. So you come back kind of like your ship, and you have to use the different materials that you've gathered to, create something that you have to buy blueprints for. And I don't know, I still haven't even gotten all the basics out of the way of all the different stuff you can do in there. So Warframe is very complicated.
Sounds like it. I've never played it, but I know a lot of people.
It's a game
like
that's
I played it right at launch.
Yeah, it started as one thing that was fairly simple, and then 5 years later, it's not that anymore. They've added so much stuff to it over time and
Yeah.
iterated on it that it's way different than what it even started out as. But you should definitely, even if you're never going to play it, watch the documentaries from the NoClip channel did on it, because it has a really interesting history to it. So the guy who founded the studio did some old stuff that I played, like Solar Winds, Epic Pinball, a few other things back in the day. And then also, once he started his studio and got some more people involved, then they started doing Unreal Tournament for Epic.
Yeah.
And then they split off and did a bunch of work for hire stuff. And they had which ones? I can't remember off the top of my head. Some other work for hire stuff they did. The Darkness 2 was one, and they had a concept called Dark Sector at the time that they wanted to do, which was this weird sci-fi thing out in space, kind of like an MMO.
Well, Dark Sector came out.
Right, I'm getting there.
I was like, wait a
I'm
minute.
getting there. So this thing called Dark Sector that they wanted to do was this sci-fi MMO thing, and they would show it to people, and they'd either just hate it, or they'd be like, yeah, but sci-fi doesn't sell, so we're not going to help you for it. And then they finally changed the concept and put out a game called Dark Sector that was more like Resident Evil 4 horror with the weird glaive thing that I remember.
I remember that.
Completely not the concept that they wanted to do at all. And so
The concept is really cool.
The concept is Warframe. They showed some, like in this documentary, some test stuff from demos they had made to show all these people when they're going around shopping the game to people, trying to get them to give them the money to make it. As like the armor and some of the environments looks like prototype Warframe. It has the same weird look to like the helmets and all that stuff that you would if you've even just seen a trailer for what Warframe looks like. It's got a very unique kind of look to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. And this game that has been free to play success for 5 years really dates back like almost a couple decades really for its origins. It's crazy like how far back it actually goes if you trace it back all that way.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, I need to add those to my watch list or subscription on YouTube, because I always forget about them until you bring them up, and then.
But the fun, other interesting thing about Warframe itself is when it first came out, the movement system is different than it is now, and that's kind of what it's known for. But it was like a lot more grounded, and you could do a few things. But the player base found a glitch where you could fly across the map doing this weird thing where it would do what they called coptering, where it literally looks like you're spinning around to sort of fly across the map, and then instead of being all Bungie about it and saying, no, slap your hand, like, you can't have that. They're like, oh, that's kind of cool. We see what our player base is kind of wanting to do this stuff. Let's add it into the game in a different form so they have this crazy cool movement to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things that they've kind of pulled from seeing what the players are doing with their game. and then kind of like incorporating that type of stuff in there. So like half of their things are trying to do stuff that makes their player base happy that they're kind of asking for, or just because of the way they play the game, and then half is trying to surprise them by putting in something new.
Yeah.
And they've been doing that successfully for about 5 years now, I think, something like that. And so it's a huge game by now. I think like late last year they added a big open world map thing to it that was new, and at some point they added like big cinematic quests to the game that weren't there originally, and just keep adding onto it and adding to it and treating their player base right. And hey, look, you get successful by doing that.
Yeah, I know I knew it really took off. You know, it kind of had a slow start to it, and then all of a sudden it was like, I remember when it first came out, and I downloaded it. I don't think I ever actually booted it up, and then it kind of, I don't know, a year or two later, I was like, everybody's like, Warframe. I'm like, really? Is that thing still around?
Yeah.
It's
like apparently they came like within inches of the studio going under, and Warframe saved it because they got it out just in time to get a little bit of money, and then once they put it on Steam, a bunch of people just kept getting it and putting money into the system, and they're like, okay, we can breathe now. The studio's not gonna close.
Yeah.
Because they put it out, like the original build of Warframe that they put out, the like alpha build or whatever it was called at the time, they built in like 8 months or something ridiculous, because that was all the time that they literally had money for.
Jeez. That's funny. Well, that's cool though.
But yeah, because of it, they don't have to do the like work for hire stuff
Well,
anymore.
yeah.
They're pretty much just doing the Warframe thing and playing around, having fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool. I'm glad it's doing well.
I might play some more of it. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I know I had some friends who've played it before, but they're not currently playing it. So I was just kind of playing it to try it out and see what it was like.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else that's
I played a bit more of Assassin's Creed Origins. Not much different to really say there. It's still pretty awesome.
Yeah, I still haven't.
Maybe eventually I'll finish the base game and then decide if I want to get the DLC or not.
Maybe I'll just eventually play it.
It's really, really good.
I know it
I'm
is.
riding a chocobo. It's great. Well, I should probably call it like a choca camel or something. This weird chocobo camel hybrid looking thing.
Yeah, that thing's kind of freaky.
But it's fun. I stopped using the steampunk weapons though. They were just a little bit too fun. Like, no, I'll keep my other weapons that don't look weird next to all the normal Egyptian stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. It's on my list. I will play. I've got it. I'll play it at some point. I swear.
I mean, it's worth. You gotta at least boot it up and play it for a little while.
I know.
Play it at least until you get to Alexandria, the first big city. So that'll give you plenty of like the desert areas and then a city environment, and then also you'll get some of like a lake in there, and it'll kind of show you most of the variety of kind of what the environments look like. Although there's still plenty other just different stuff in other areas of the map, but I'll give you a nice cross section.
Yeah, I've got to play. There's so many games I got to play that I've bought that I just haven't. And somebody has it on sale again for $30. I forget who it is. Best Buy this week or something like that. So yeah, it's a good time to pick it up. So cool. Robert, what have you been playing here? I see you just been playing an iOS game.
It wasn't a good week for gaming. Dabbling in Fortnite on iOS on breaks at work and stuff like that, just kind of screwing around.
On phone, or?
Yeah, on my iPhone, and it runs really well, all things considered.
That's what I hear about it. Is it actually runs really well for what you expect?
I'm super surprised.
Do you find that you are? I mean, I'm guessing it's not. You're not just playing with other people on iPhone. You're playing with everybody, right? Or is it?
I'm not sure. I've actually been performing a little bit better on my phone than I do on the console version.
Mm-hmm.
But other people I've talked to, they've been saying that they were getting slaughtered on the phone.
Yeah,
so
I saw some videos
they thought they were playing with console and PC players. But I haven't had that experience, and maybe I just got lucked out and I got grouped up with a bunch of mobile users.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're still kind of working out those kinks there and letting you choose.
If they have an option on there, like Rocket League, I know will let you just your single platform if you don't want to.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything, and I've gone through what I think is all the settings on there. But yeah, it's Fortnite. You know, it's working fine. It takes a while to get adjusted to the controls, but I know they have gamepad support coming
Yeah.
at some point. I
Well,
don't
that
know
makes
when,
sense.
but it's still early access. It's invite only
Yeah.
at this point.
And it still goes with your progression, like is with your.
Yeah, I
account,
linked
so it
mine
doesn't
up
matter
with
when you
the
play.
PSN.
Yeah. Well, that's
Wait,
cool.
wait.
The funny
so
thing
you're
is, it's still like one of the top sellers, even though it's an invite only thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
What,
so
Matt?
you're saying that Fortnite tracks your progression on your phone and lets you carry that same progression across to say your PC version.
Yeah,
Any
correct.
version that you have, it will go there. So you can have it. You can play it on your phone, on your console, on your PC, and it'll all tie into your account.
So clearly it's possible. So why are all the other games not doing that, like Overwatch? Or
Yeah, that's a good question.
what's their excuses now? Like, oh no,
They
they've done
didn't
it.
build it that way to start with.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's
Ah.
probably one of the big things was is they didn't build it for that way. But that would be cool though. I mean, I like it when they have cross-platform progression and play, and you know, it doesn't matter if I'm on PC or Xbox or
Mhm.
whatever. I like that. I wish it was 100% like that all the time. But
It did have me link it up when I first downloaded the game, so I don't know if you can do it across all of them.
Or you just
or
gotta
if it's
pick
just
one.
one, maybe.
I don't know.
Because I thought all it did is it ties to your Epic account. So if you're playing on that account,
It had me log in with either my Epic account or wherever my previous progression was.
Hmm.
So that I'm not sure of.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't.
sure the
play.
chat can help
I
us
should
out.
try playing it because I haven't played it since Battle Royale came out. So I've only played like the quote regular Fortnite back in the summer or whatever it was when it first came out for pay to play whatever.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun, but that mode is just kind of like ignored now because Battle Royale is such this huge deal.
Yeah, I can see that. I've never played it, so I've never.
I'm not the biggest Battle Royale fan. It's
Yeah.
it's just something that I can hop into on my phone every now and then and do like a 15-minute pickup game, and I get slaughtered, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's move on.
That's what I have.
think it's-
That's what I have Sega slots for on my phone. I just get bored and just do a little slot machining, and then I'm good.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting seeing kind of the arms race between PUBG and Fortnite now, where
Yeah.
like Fortnite has pulled way ahead. So like PUBG's trying to add some of the stuff that Fortnite has, but I don't know. They're both so huge, and they both are quite different despite being battle royale games.
Yeah.
Like people, if they don't understand it, discounting the building in Fortnite, don't, because that makes it way different. Especially if you watch kind of like the really good players. Like they're just kind of using it to like do all sorts of crazy like spirals around each other, just building around, doing all this stuff. It's as important, or if not more, than just shooting is.
Yeah.
especially once you get to like the last 10. I mean, if you don't have rockets and a ton of materials, you can't really do too much.
Yeah. And see, I've never played either one of them, so I know of them. I know what they are, and
I like watching Fortnite streams and videos and stuff. I don't like watching the PUBG ones as much because Fortnite's just more lighthearted, so it's more fun to watch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Playing wise, they're probably both just fun to play. It just caters to different kinds of people, which is cool.
They definitely are played differently.
Yeah.
Fortnite's much faster paced, whereas you tend to play more careful and stealthy with PUBG.
I mean, Fortnite has the dance bomb grenade thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Plus points in my book.
Hey. There you go. Well, so Matt, that leaves you. What have you been playing here? Anything cool?
Recently, I've just playing a little bit of Overwatch with some friends of mine. I am super increasingly average. I've accepted that.
That's all right. I mean, at least you're average. You're not below average. I mean,
That's why I would place healers when I was doing Overwatch, right back when it came out.
at least you're not like me in Destiny PvP that I was always last on the list and usually maybe had 1 or 2 kills. You know, it's just I would get so mad I would just quit.
Yeah, but I don't know how it is on console, but PC Destiny PvP is very, very twitchy.
Yeah, it is.
It seems much more like an arena shooter than it does, like Halo or anything that you would kind of see as its previous DNA.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely. And then I recently got a Switch.
Yay.
Breath of the Wild on that one. Oh my goodness, that is. I've been playing a lot in that game. I don't know how many dozens of hours I have so far. Probably less than what I think.
Yeah.
But it is. I knew they put in a lot of detail. I had no idea how much detail they put in. It is truly amazing. But there's a couple quality of life things I wish they had. Like if I make something, I wish I could just hit make instead of having to like add everything to my hands, drop it into the cook pot, wait 30 seconds,
Right.
and then get it back out.
And then do it all over again. Yeah.
And then do it all over again. I wish I could just be like, make this 10 times, and
Yeah.
you just like,
Yeah, but that doesn't have as much whimsy, so therefore Nintendo ain't doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
I understand the whimsy the first 5 or 10, 15 times.
I
It's-
never got bored of cooking. I like cooking in
Yeah.
that game.
it's and then what is it? I just fought the boss in the giant camel, and I hated it. Like, just
See,
it's a high skill boss, but it's not because it's like technically proficient. I feel like it's just because like that's the boss that cheats.
yeah. See, I
I don't
can't.
remember the camel one because I thought all the boss fights were kind of, well, I haven't done the final boss fight, but all the Divine Beast boss fights were kind of forgettable to me.
See,
Yeah, I agree.
what was bad with me is I put 100 hours into that game before I did my first boss fight, with the beasts. So then one day I just went, well, it's time to go do all the beasts. I've got my master
Dink,
sword.
you're dead.
And I just walked in and went bonk, 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 bonk. And then I went, well, I might as well just go ahead and beat the game. So I just walked in and dink, and I was done. It was like, so everybody's like, what did you think of that fight? Was it really complicated? No, it really wasn't. But I got so involved with everything else around me that I did not pay any attention to,
I purposefully spread mine out to where I do some stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do a beast now, and then
Yeah.
I'll go do some other stuff rather than going directly to the next one, and then, okay, I've done, several hours of things. Now I'll go do that one and kind of even it out a little bit.
Yeah, and looking back, I should have done that, but I didn't. I just went bippity boppity boop, and I was.
And then they all die.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because it's like the game kind of holds your hand for the first little bit until you get to the bottom right hand corner of the map, and then it like just kind of says "Go nuts."
Yep.
And so then I'm like meandering around, making loops around this area I've explored, and then I'm like, okay, I should go do something now. And so then I go do the Zora one. Which was annoying as heck because all it is mountains, and they understand that,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We're just gonna make everything rain
Yeah.
because we hate you as
Now
a
you
player."
can't climb anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, because
It's-
that one, they're trying to force you on a specific path
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah.
if they didn't do that, then you just be like, oh, I don't know where I'm going. Oh, I guess I'll just kind of eventually go straight here, and it's less interesting that way.
Yeah.
It is, but it's also like Liz of Follows. This one has shocky arrows. These all now have shocky arrows, and now there's 60 of them. Like, and then you do the desert one. So you have to cross dress. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That whole storyline.
I think that's the one I'm on.
That's a fun one.
I like the desert. The desert's pretty good.
Yeah, and they hyped up there's like a sandstorm there that they're hyping up, and they're like, don't go over there. You have to wait for certain hours of the day. I'm just like, good enough. Let's go. And then they just like walk through the sandstorm. I don't fight any enemies whatsoever. And then I can just see the silhouette of the tower I was trying to go to in the distance. So then I get there, and I walk out the back of the snowstorm at the base of the mountain. And then I kill. I just walk up and go boop boop boop. These 3 enemies are dead, and it's like 5 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden there's a blood moon for no real reason. It's just like, I guess it's just like you have killed enough people at this exact time. We have to reload.
Yeah.
So it's just like wasting all these arrows to kill these guys, and I'm like, haha, time to move forward. Blood Moon, Link, blah 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 blah, and it's just like waste more arrows. Like,
Son of a.
yeah, and then you just have this like long winding path up the cliffs.
Yeah.
That's where they get you for their like linear storyline stuff. Is just like, all right, straight up cliffs. You can either walk like an hour around the mountain, or you can just take the path up in 10 minutes. And it's like, okay, I'll take the path up.
Or you just put on your climbing gear and just go straight up.
Yeah.
I've only found like I've only found like the 80s like Renegade
The
bandana right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I just want to be like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
Once you get all 3 pieces of the climbing gear, it's just like just like
Like a
really
like
a
fast
squirrel.
going up top.
And
Yep.
see, and that's what that's how.
That and the ninja suit were the 2 things I wore the most in the
Yeah.
entire game.
Well, and that's kind of what I did with the game. It was like I went so far, and then I went, you know what? I want to get this outfit, so let's go hunt all the pieces down. All right, now let's go get this outfit and hunt all the pieces down. And then when I get to certain parts of the game, it's like, oh, I got to climb up this mountain in the pouring rain. No big deal. Let me just put my climbing suit on, and I can.
and then take like one of the movement speed
Yeah.
syrups, and you're just like,
Mhm.
I'm good to go.
It's one of those games that I could really play again. I just don't think I've got 125 hours to play it again. But it was one of those games I didn't want to end. It just, I played
I think
it
if
for.
you played it again, you wouldn't spend that much because there'd be some things you'd be like, I remember that. Okay, I don't need to do that. I
Yeah.
don't need to track down all this outfit because that outfit looked cool, but it didn't really help me that much.
Right. And
It would still be quite a bit, but I don't think it'd be the same amount.
and really, I haven't done everything in the game. I didn't find all the seeds
Korax.
or all the.
You're
I
not
didn't find all that.
supposed to.
I know,
So
but
So that everyone will be able to find enough.
Yeah.
I know, but what I'm saying is instead of playing the entire game over again, I could go do
Yeah.
this and that and that and this, and still
And then
get
there's
that.
all the DLC stuff if you haven't done all of that.
I don't
I forgot
think
there's
I've done all of it.
DLC.
Oh yeah, there's 2 things of DLC. There's a motorcycle I still haven't got yet.
Yeah,
The
that's
DLC
the one
was
piece.
fun because when I installed it and turned on the thing on the map that shows you where you've walked or whatever, I was like, "Hey, that's a fun. Hey, how did I not go there?"
Yeah, then there's still
Like just
some
a hole.
parts. Yeah, there's still
I
some
go
parts on the
everywhere
map.
around
It's
it,
like,
but there's this one spot right here where it's like, "Wait, how did I miss that? Or how did I miss that one over there? That's so weird."
yeah, exactly. And then I went back and looked at it and went, man, look at that. I walked clear around that 3 or 4 different times, and I never walked from point A to point B. Why didn't I do that? And it's like, well, I'll go back and do that sometime. So, yeah, it's an amazing game on a cartridge this small.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, playing Ni no Kuni makes me want to see what Zelda looks like in 10 years. It might look like that fidelity.
Oh,
The
that
rate
would be
Nintendo's going.
really good. That would be great.
it'll look like it. No, I guess it will be in like 10 years because it's they're trying to go for super long console generations now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Breath of the Wild definitely great. I can see why it was like the launch title. Because you could just be like, yeah, we'll just throw that game at people. They'll be occupied for months,
Yeah.
and then we'll release our next first-party title. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't yet, get it or borrow it from somebody. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I bought it day one on Switch, and I bought it on Wii U. I still have not taken it out of the shrink wrap on Wii U, but I bought it on Wii U just to have it. It's like, someday.
Nintendo will remember that.
Oh yeah, they will. I'm not going to get Twilight Princess bit in the butt again. I didn't buy it on GameCube. I bought it on Wii instead, and I really wished I'd bought it on GameCube instead of Wii. And then prices went up like crazy on the GameCube version, so I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it on both just to have it if I ever change my mind or want to play it on another console.
That's a game that I'd kind of like to play again because I only played it on the Wii way back when, and I don't remember quite a bit of it. There's a few things I do, but it'd be interesting playing it with just buttons.
The Wii U version of it is really good. The HD remake of it, but of course I'm not going to say go buy a Wii U just to play it unless
I'm
you
not gonna
find
do
a
that.
Wii U super cheap. Then like $50. Yeah, go buy it.
Still not buying it.
but-
I wouldn't even take a Wii U if they gave it to me for free. I'm like,
that's-
I don't have anywhere that I want to put it. I've got my Switch. I don't need a Wii U. Just
Yeah.
no.
I tell you, there's still some games on the Wii U that I'm waiting for them to bring to the Switch, and until they
I
do,
mean,
I'll
at
still.
this rate, they probably will.
I hope so. Wonderful 101 is a game that a lot of people didn't
cool.
play that is really, really cool. And I was moving stuff around to make more room for Switch games on the thing, and I had to take half my Wii U collection down to get them on there. And I went, oh man, why haven't they brought this game out? Oh, why haven't they brought this one out yet? Well, I hope they'll bring this one out. So it's like, yeah, I've still got a lot of cool games on the Wii U that I need to go back and play again. But hey, what else you been playing? Anything else? I got way off the subject there.
Well, I do have one more note about the Switch.
Oh yeah.
And that's so I was playing it with the Joy Cons on the built-in like controller thing.
Yeah.
The puppy face.
Yeah, the puppy face.
This
The grip.
thing.
Oh yeah, you got the colored ones. That's cool.
That's what mine is. It's the best.
So I have that one, and I also
controllers are
picked up a Pro controller.
Yeah.
And I have a little charging dock here, so I'm like, okay, I have 2 controllers. I'm happy. Like if I get when I get Mario Kart or Smash or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I'm playing it with the puppy dog face.
Yeah, the
and
controller
everything's
grip.
hunky dory. And then I go to the Pro controller, and it feels like a completely different game.
Yeah, it does.
I get used to that, and I try to come back to the puppy dog, and it's like I'm pulling out my own teeth. Like it is a horrible experience to like switch from one to the other immediately.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that if you put it behind your leg, because I sit cross-legged sometimes, and if you put it behind your leg, just like in your lap while you're playing it, that's enough to block the signal. So sometimes you'll just be walking along and just be like,
oh,
and then just like run off a cliff.
You mean with
just, like,
the Joy-Con? You mean with
Yeah,
when you're
with
doing
the Joy-Con.
Yeah, I could see that.
and it's just because it does like each of the little individual controllers don't have enough oomph to get through your leg. But
I'll tell you.
It'll depend on where your console is sitting too.
Well, that's true. I'll tell you one interesting fact about the Switch with my wireless router. Don't ever, at least with my wireless router, I cannot set my Pro controller on it while it is on. It will actually block the Wi-Fi signal, and wireless will go down in the house if that controller is on or charging while it's setting on the Wi-Fi router. Because they kind of set my Wi-Fi router sits in the living room. So when I first got it, I had the Switch hooked up to the TV in there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm charging it. Let me just set it on top of the router. That's the only place I got for it right now. I'm going to go do this or go to the bathroom or whatever it was I was doing." And I went to go to Wi-Fi, and my phone wouldn't work on Wi-Fi anymore.
it was totally the bathroom because you'd be sitting there going like, "Why isn't the
Yeah.
Facebook loading?"
Well, no, it was weird, and then I took that. I was like, "Well, what's the problem?" I'll go in there and I take the controller off the modem, move stuff around. And all of a sudden, the Wi-Fi starts working. I went, "Well, that's weird." Put the controller on the, then all of a sudden the Wi-Fi just goes, "Burp." Take it off, and it goes, "Burp." I was like, "Why? That is so weird. It must just be on the same channel or something like that." I don't know. I don't know how Bluetooth.
Frequencies are fighting. It's just like the little Wi-Fi.
I guess.
servers are like,
So it's like when I'm charging, if I'm charging upstairs, if I'm charging the Switch Pro controller upstairs on a console, I can't set it too close to the wireless router because it blocks it. So I charge it down here in the basement, away from it. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, but yeah. You play mostly on the TV, Matt, or do you play handheld more?
TV, definitely.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you can see my couch right here.
Yeah.
My TV is just like 3 feet that way.
Well, what I found bad was, and this is probably one of the reasons why I put so many hours in it, is you'd lay in bed and get ready to go to bed, and the Switch is sitting there, and you're like, let me just play a few minutes of Zelda before I go to sleep. Oh, wait, it's just 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh,
I fell
gosh.
asleep playing Zelda.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's why I've drawn that line. I'm like, no video games in bed. I will lose my soul to this thing.
That's usually when when I tell the wife, "Well, I'm going to bed early. Let me lay here and play some Switch." Well, while you're sleeping, I'm going to sit
And then
here
your
and play
eyes
some
are
Switch.
like red and dead.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, but yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you got a Switch. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a really, really cool system. I like
Definitely.
it. Yeah. So
And then the last game I've been playing is Dungeons and Dragons. So
is there a
I,
new Dungeons and Dragons video game out? Oh
Oh,
no!
no! I've been DMing for some people for a while now, and I'm like
You
finally
come
getting to
here,
the point
DM
where
for
I'm
me.
like, no.
Yeah.
But
It's
I'm
not
finally
that
getting to the
far.
point. Yeah, it's a little drive up the road.
It's only what 1,000 miles, probably. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I don't
It'll
know.
only be
Somewhere
like
there.
500 for you.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it is interesting, seeing how like different people interact with each other in the game, and then you as the GM kind of have to like purposefully do things to either get them to do stuff with each other,
yeah.
or like all gang up and then defeat the world.
How big of a group are you running?
If 4 to 5. We have one
Well, that's
person that
pretty
shows up every other time.
That's not a bad group size.
No.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's enough to keep things interesting. We have all the roles covered, and then we have one person that they show up when they can. They have a lot of like after work stuff they have to do sometimes, but they're just kind of like an extra DPS. They're a
Yeah.
wizard, so they come in every once in a while. And his backstory for that character is that he's like a wizard with dementia. And so
That sounds bad for a wizard.
That does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
You'd forget all your spells.
He's like a chaotic neutral kind of thing. So he's like forgotten all of his stuff. So he thinks he's like a wizard from what was it? It was Frog Bumps, and he has to go fight the other wizard that shall not be mentioned or something like that. So he has kind of like this weird Harry Potter-esque backstory that is 100% a lie because he's crazy in the head.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so like he was out for a while and then he came back and the player I had to write him into the story somehow and I'm just like, oh, this fits with this character. So the characters, all the other players killed a bunch of NPCs in this room. They were evil. It's okay. And there's a chest in there, and it says something like offerings or something on it. And so they go and they're like, oh, there's gonna be like money or something in there. They go and they like unlock the chest. And they open it, and it's just like him in the chest, like just. And they were. It was like the cultists were going to offer him to the dragon as a sacrifice. And so it's just like a crazy old guy in a trunk,
Yeah.
and all the player characters are just like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
Totally get it. Totally understand. Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, if you ever like, should I play Dungeons and Dragons or should I DM to do it or whatever other tabletop, just do it. You're gonna make tons of mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Super fun.
I have not played D&D or any kind of tabletop, role playing like that since probably college. We used to play in high school all the time. My senior year in college, some of us had to take 2 study halls because we only needed so many credits. And so we just got the classes that we needed and then everything filled up. And it was like, well, I don't have a class to take, so I have to take a study hall. And everybody's like, well, you can't take 2 study halls. Well, I can't take any classes. They're all filled up, so study hall's all I got. So they were like, fine. So like I fixed it up, and I had a study hall before lunch, then I had lunch, and then I had a study hall after. So there was like, I don't know, 3 hours of the day that there was nothing to do. So we sat in the cafeteria and played Dungeons and Dragons, or Star Wars was a new role-playing game, tabletop game that was out. We played it a lot, and we had a blast. But we've all went our separate ways and had kids and wives and moved away, and we don't play anymore.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of like online stuff nowadays, like Roll20.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've
like
heard about Roll20 and stuff. It sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then I think Roll20 might actually have a partnership with Wizards to where they have like official D&D modules, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's my understanding of it.
And then, yeah, no, at the very least, it's a great opportunity just to sit down with a couple of your friends every day or once a week and knock back a couple brewskis.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice. So
That's cool. It's like I always said. I would love to see a stream of that. I know a lot of people do streams of their tabletop games, Warhammer with the little figures and stuff like that. I always thought that would be a real interesting stream. Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah. But I always thought that would be really cool to sit and watch. I've seen some of them. I don't know if I've ever seen any of theirs or not, but I've heard of them.
Critical Role is awesome. I've seen every single episode.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hundreds of stuff that is, but it's a lot.
Yeah. I've heard of
They
them.
just started their second campaign 11 episodes ago.
Oh,
they,
wow.
they actually have like a series of like how to and help videos for game masters and dungeon masters, and so I've been slogging through those, reading or watching up, and being like, oh, okay, yeah,
So
no,
you're still
I
on the-
can kill my players. That's perfectly okay.
Still on the Matt Mercer ones? Or have you
Yeah.
gotten past that
Yeah,
to
I've gotten
Satine?
past those to her. Yeah,
She's got some really cool ones where she'll bring in different people from, different places. She's even had a couple of people from Wizards come in. And it's interesting just seeing all the different kind of takes on how different, game masters do things and cool little tricks that they use to make things interesting for players.
Yeah.
So even if you're not going to GM or anything, it's just kind of fun videos to watch.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, we'll hop into the news real quick. Not tons to talk about, but just a couple I wanted to touch on. As I said, this may have been the last episode. I don't remember if it was the last episode or 2 episodes ago.
think it was the
Yakuza
last
Kiwami
one.
2 is coming to the West this summer. As I
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's like I said, if they don't bring it to the West, I will be extremely shocked. They had it was like the Art of Yakuza or something like that in San Francisco last week, with a lot of artwork and a lot of post and pre-production stuff and things, and it looked really, really cool. I wished I could have went to something like that, but unfortunately I'm on the wrong side of the country for it. But and that's where they made the announcement at. They're doing a Steelbook edition like they did for the first one. This one's a little more expensive. This one's $50. I think the other one was $30 when it came out.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
It was pretty cheap. This one's a little bit more expensive, but I can see why it's a little bit newer. This was just released last December in Japan, and we will have it in August. I think that's the quickest turnaround of any Yakuza game, so I can see why it's probably a little more money. And if you've never played any of the Yakuza games before, this is the one that I always say to play. Yakuza 2, to me, was one of the best stories of the whole series. I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
What
Yeah.
was this on originally?
PS2. This was originally on PS2.
okay.
Yeah, Yakuza 1 and 2 was PS2. 3, 4, and 5 were on PS3. So, but this is a retelling of 2, and it looks fantastic. So, and once again, another year. 2 Yakuza games in 1 year. I can't believe it. This is what a way to go out with a bang. So
You're just gonna explode with Yakuzas and it's over there.
well, I am, and then
It's
I'll,
like throwing your discs around like, oh.
yeah. Who needs these eyes? But yeah, unfortunately, well, it's the last one of this. Yeah, this will be the last one for a while, probably, unless they have some new series already in development, which I'm sure they do.
Surprise,
So.
it's Yakuza 12. We're just skipping ahead.
Yeah, it's Yakuza in the future.
I mean that would be cool.
Oh yeah, I would buy it. I mean,
I'd buy that.
I bought the
Just
one
lean
where they
into
were.
it and call it Yakuza in space. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I bought the one where they were fighting zombies. I bought the one where they were in feudal Japan, and so why not buy one where they're in space? I would do that. I would
They
certainly
should,
do that.
Cowboy
head
Bebop or
west.
something.
Yeah.
They should have them in the United States.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, they did. It was called the Mafia series.
Yakuza Canada.
Yakuza Canada. Yeah.
No one would expect it.
The Great Maple Syrup Ice Tea.
I could see it now. They're real rude, and then they follow it by, "I'm going to kill you." Sorry about that. Sorry.
Don't you know?
Did you ever see that on what was that, Anchorman 2, and Jim Carrey was they were doing the Anchorman fight, and he was the news from Canada, and they were so nice that every time they'd say something bad, they'd go sorry.
I honestly don't remember that movie because I watched it and I'm like, this movie has almost none of the magic from the first movie.
The only
And yet somehow like more commentary.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
that was my favorite scene in the whole movie. I'll send you a link to it. I have it bookmarked somewhere. That's because sometimes I just sometimes I like to watch it when I need a laugh. So. Apparently, EA is hiring for a quote-unquote Star Wars open world project.
There's rumors this is the Visceral game
Yes, and I hope so.
because of the studio that it's at. So they'd also sort of hinted at what they wanted to do with that if they were keeping back when they closed Visceral. So that's what scuttlebutt on this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they're doing with it. They're turning it open world.
And you know what?
Sure.
I will be fine with that. I will absolutely be fine
see.
with that. If it's
It depends on if it's just a big old empty mess because they have to rush it out,
Well-
or if they actually take their time and do it right. In which
Take
case,
their
we won't
time.
be seeing it for a while.
well,
if
that's
they do
fine.
that.
Take their time.
I'm
That
okay with that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
okay. I would rather see it next generation and it be good than rushed and crappy because I think if
We'll see. It's going to depend on how long Disney's going to let them just keep slowly putting
Battlefront?
no games out.
I mean-
Hey, we want to put out a bunch of Star Wars games, and they've managed to do 2.
yeah, well, here's a Battlefield 3. or
Spoilers for
Battlefront 3.
potential upcoming Star Wars
Yeah.
games.
But yeah,
we got this Unreal Engine in here.
but it's Vancouver Studios, that's kind of the visceral, that's where they kind of shifted a lot of the visceral stuff to. So hopefully, oh my gosh, I don't know what kind of open world Star Wars game I want though.
That's the thing about Star Wars is I don't know that I want that because then that's going to put you in just one location.
No, that's
It's a
true.
big, huge map, and maybe get a few. Whereas if it's a linear one, you can just put it in his, big old sprawling story and take it to a bunch of cool looking locations.
I mean, you don't
yeah.
have to do that though. Like you could have it something. There, I bring it up, like Destiny 1, where you have maybe not as expansive maps, but several smaller open world maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they could just take Mass Effect Andromeda and then put stormtroopers in it. Oops, guys, look.
Don't give them the idea.
Oh, yeah.
They
That's
already
out there,
have that
that's what
idea.
they're gonna
I
do.
guarantee they have that idea already.
Jinx.
And
Jinx.
it would fix the facial animations. It's okay, just put a
facial
helmet on
animations are
it.
fine.
Yeah, just wear a helmet. It'll be fine.
They
Just
already
wear a
fixed
helmet.
those. They're fine.
Oh, okay, good. I don't know. One of the things that I've always wanted in a Star Wars movie or a TV show or a comic or anything is some kind of. There was a comic book series by Dark Horse called Tales from Jabba's Palace. And it was all about the little slimy underworld of bounty hunters and smugglers and, stories like that. I don't know if I want an open world game like that where I'm a smuggler, doing this or that. Or
Well, if they keep some of the concept, then that'll be what it is. Because between Star Wars 1313 and this Visceral game,
Yeah.
somebody wants to make kind of that style of
yeah,
a Star
that's
Wars
true.
game.
I totally forgot about the 1313. Yeah, then
That's
that's
kind of
We
what
just
both
have-
of those have been.
yeah,
like
that's
a second Jango Fett game, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because we've had
A little
we've had
bigger,
more
a
of
little, a little more story to it. But yeah, I forgot. I actually still have that over there on the GameCube. I totally forgot about that.
I remember renting that from Blockbuster,
Ooh.
and then I remember as far as I got, there was this desert level where they had a bunch of those sand dogs without the eyes and the big
Mhm.
teeth that would just run around and that's as far as I got.
I don't remember if I beat it or not, but I have it over there on the thing, and I just got a HDMI adapter for my GameCube, so I might be able to. I might have to play that then. I totally forgot I had it, but that excites me that they're doing something. That tells me that they're doing something. They're not
I
just.
mean, I'm way more interested in this and whatever single player that the Titanfall guys are doing than any more Battlefront.
Yeah. Now, this next one I put in here because when I first saw it, I didn't think it was really the Unreal Engine. I'll put it in
Yeah.
the chat room. So,
Is this tied in with the thing NVIDIA did?
yes, it is.
Or it is? Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause,
And
yeah, it's, Yay, look at all this fancy stuff that doesn't exist yet because we haven't invented the hardware really yet.
Yeah, but if this is something that they could do like on the next PlayStation or Xbox, the potential to do it. I mean, because this to me it looked like
It'll
looked
be
like
a little bit dialed back from this because
I thought it was the movie.
I did too.
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, I went, "This is not Unreal.
It's
It's not. This is this is a film. This is
If you
not."
watch it a second time, you can see little things here and there if you're really paying attention to it. Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it. It is so cool. It's just the stormtroopers mouthing off about Phantom or Phasma, and she sends them out in the snow with no snowtrooper outfits on. I mean, it's
she gets in the elevator or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But did you like the best thing about the whole video? Did you notice the music that was playing in the elevator?
Yes.
I forgot. It's been a while
It's
since
the
I watched it.
the Imperial March with it kind of jazzy and
It's like if the
Music
Cantina band
vibe.
played
Yeah.
the Imperial March.
yeah, exactly. It was
That's
like
what we need more of Star Wars music.
yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, there's another video floating out there from that conference that they did. That I think it was what's his name that did Gollum.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Andy Serkis doing facial capture where they had the
They have
Unreal.
two different ones. They have like his actual face in engine, and then they have the same performance on some weird alien, so you can compare the two.
Yeah, it was just it's mind blowing. Of course, I can only imagine what kind of PC and how much
Yeah.
it would cost, but
I mean, it's tech demo stuff, so it will never quite get that far
Yeah.
on actual hardware, but it will be better than it is on this hardware.
yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Nintendo Switch data miners discover hardware update clues. A lot of people took this as they're going to make a Nintendo Pro or an updated like they did for the 3DS. It's not really that. It's just a different chipset that they're putting in there. It's still of the same chip family. Just that the one that's in the Nintendo Switch now is very easily hackable. They've found out an exploit, and they can keep patching it, but eventually it's just going to get to a point where they can't patch it anymore. So they're putting a new chipset in there that's supposed to stop hacking and things like that.
When you say hacking, do you
Spoiler
mean
alert,
like?
they'll still be able to hack it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But when you say hacking, do you mean homebrew,
Yeah.
or do you mean like they're going to
Homebrew.
come in and they're going to steal my game?
No. It's all a homebrew thing. They've already somebody's already hacked it, homebrewed it, and you can run emulators on it. You can run all kinds of things on it, and they keep. That's what a lot of the 5.0 update was to block some of that. But what Nintendo has found out is the patches that they bring out are just temporary patches where if they put a different chipset in there of the same family, it still does the same thing, then it's a little harder for them to actually, and nobody ever says it's unhackable because everybody said the PS3 was unhackable and somebody finally hacked it. Of course, it's 10 years, but they finally hacked it. But,
Yeah, it took a while.
it did take a while. But one of the interesting things was that one of the entries in the 5.0 software suggests that there could be a 8 gigabyte memory upgrade in the Switch instead of the 4 that they have now. This doesn't mean that they'll actually do it. It just means that there's an actual possibility written in the hardware, and it could just be for developers. It may not even be consoles that they actually bring out to market. I just don't see them doing a upgrade on the Switch this soon, bringing out a new version of the Switch. I'd say at least if they do, it'll be 2 years down the road. It's selling too well right now to say, hey, here's the Switch 2.0. Everybody come buy that now.
Yeah, well, there's that. Plus, also
Make
just
everyone mad.
manufacturing it, that would add so many complications into it, too, because you've already got your pipelines for all that to push out. If you changed it up, then if it's too different, then you're going to have some, try and avoid hiccups there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. It's just kind of curious to see them do something, like that real quick.
It will get an update at some point.
Eventually.
They do it so much with all the other handhelds stuff that why not? Since it's half handheld, they're probably going to do something with the Switch,
Yeah.
like the Switch XL or something.
Something, yeah.
It's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
But
it definitely
the-
will happen.
It's just when.
If they just only add more RAM, though, they're going to kill the battery.
Yeah, more so than it already
Because
is.
RAM is just power hungry. Like if like cell phones, like it's like, oh yeah, we have a 4 gig and a 6 gig model. Well, they have to like double the battery capacity to make them even remotely competitive with each other, or it's just going to be like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing left.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. That's the that's the thing. I would rather see them do something with the dock than maybe do an updated dock that when you plug your Switch in, it gives it more power, gives it maybe more graphic fidelity, something like that, other than just a pass through to the TV. I don't know if something like that's even possible, but it could be. That's
I'd
yeah,
buy a
if
new
they
dock.
did it that way and it was possible, then if you have you could plug it into it and make it a lot easier on just people who already own a Switch.
right.
So
yeah.
so like it plugs into the USB port, and that's how a lot of laptops do their external GPU units now, is through that powered
Yeah.
USB port.
Yeah. So, maybe
But USB-C can do a whole bunch of different things.
yeah, well, and maybe that would be, maybe that would be more feasible. I would like Robert said, I would buy a dock before I would buy an entire new system,
Oh yeah.
especially if the price was right. So,
And
Yeah,
especially
and-
with how difficult it is to transfer saves and all that.
oh
That's
yeah,
fine.
And then you'd have 2 docks, because
Yeah.
then you could
Yeah,
I could plug one on my main TV and like plug one here on my little computer or
I
something.
already have 2 docks myself. 'Cause I bought one that was like a off-brand quote portable one, so it folds down really flat. So if you want to put it in like a backpack or something.
have you? Which one is it? I know a lot of those were frying switches after the 5.0 up.
Yeah, some of them was bricking them.
I
Yeah,
don't
some
know.
of them were
Mine's
breaking
still
them.
fine. I've used it
Oh, that's good.
recently, so
I
yeah,
wo-
it's
I
like a
wonder why the-
Nyko one maybe.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
I got 2 docks, but I've just bought another system, one for the wife. So,
Yeah. One just stays in a portable.
yep.
That works.
Yeah, she plays hers portable. She don't play it on the TV. So I've got a dock upstairs and a dock down here. So it's got 2 chargers too. It's almost cheaper to do it that way. So, the Atari box console is officially named the Atari VCS. Everybody says Atari's still saying it's not really a Steam machine, but it's kind of a Steam machine.
What is
I was gonna say, it
VCS
just sounds
stand
like a
for?
Steam
Anything?
machine.
Yeah, I don't know. This is still just the dumbest thing that we don't need.
Can we instead of VCS call it VIX?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to
For
call
no
it, the
reason.
Atari VIX.
The Atari Vapo Rub just
Vapor Rub. Vape is right. Vaporware, probably. You are probably right about that.
It does say that pre-order information will be coming in April.
That's what they say. They keep sending me emails
Yay.
saying
you
that they're
give
going
us
to.
$100 now and guarantee yourself one, but you don't know what it is yet.
No, thank you. I don't know. This is just something.
I
that
was
we really
I was
don't need.
somewhat interested when it was first announced, but at this point we haven't heard anything, so I just don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care. I gave up a long time ago. Actually, I gave up when I first saw it and went, "Pfft, whatever.
It's a Steam box with wood paneling on it.
Yeah.
It's or
I
Steam.
mean, it does look
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, the design is really cool. I do like it. But I like the design, but it's like I really don't need it. I mean, it's just something I don't need.
The only thing that might sell it is if it was also like, and here's all the Atari games ever, and we have a service that links in with that, so you can still do Steam and all that, but also here's all the Atari games.
if they want, it's got to be.
because they're making the article you linked says they're also making that retro style controller. With
Yeah,
like the
they're
two
making the one,
Mhm.
the button,
So-
one button controller. So, but here's my thing: if it's gonna be Atari games, I want all of them. I want Atari 2600, 7800. I want Atari Lynx. I want Jaguar. I want all the terrible Atari games all on one system.
So you heard it here. John
None of
wants
them.
ET.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let me tell you something. Those games are just not good anymore. They just do not hold
No,
up. They just
not
don't.
one bit.
And that has no desire to me. I have a Raspberry Pi that I put them on and went, Oh man, I'm going to place the pole position. Oh my gosh, this thing is terrible by today's standards. Let me go play the arcade version of pole position on. It's like, I don't know, but they just do not hold up like NES games or Super NES games. It was very rudimentary back then, which, I mean, I can appreciate that. That was my childhood. I totally appreciate that. I played that and thought it was the greatest thing since white bread, but now it's like, no thanks. I don't care, but whatever. A lot of people out there do. There's a lot of big Nintendo or Atari enthusiasts out there that just absolutely love it. So
it'll be good for the home arcade cabinets. I feel like
yeah, and that could be too.
Because then you don't have to buy a whole other computer. It looks nice, so then you don't have to build the whole storage unit underneath and have functional storage and all that.
And it does what a Raspberry Pi does, but you probably don't have all the. And I say all the technical things with the Raspberry Pi. It's really not that technical, but some people are just not tech savvy enough to do the Raspberry Pi. They just want it in a box ready to go. So I get that. That's why you see people on Facebook and Let Go selling them for like $200, and people are buying them because they just want it preloaded and done. They don't want to worry about it. They'd rather spend the money than mess with it themselves, but that's okay too. There was a Nintendo's showcase. It was
Nindies.
Nintendies. I don't know why. There is no T in there. There is no T in there.
I kind of like Nintendi better.
Yeah, I kind of do too. Maybe that's why I keep saying it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was.
Syllables.
Yeah, it is. There was a live stream that they were showing off indie games coming to the Switch, and there was about 16 or 17, something like that.
Somewhere in there.
Just some of the ones that were really cool. Mark of the Ninja's coming. That looks really awesome. Fantasy Strike. It's a fighting game, which is already in early access in Steam. What else looked good? Luminous is coming to the Switch. That's pretty cool. Luminous Remastered. I love that on the PSP. I actually got it on the Vita too. I haven't played it yet.
It's really weird seeing that on a non-Sony console.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? It's kind of strange.
I think it was also, there was one maybe on the Wii, but
there may be, and I don't remember. Let's see. Banner Saga 1, 2, and 3 is coming to the Switch. 3 comes this summer. 1 and 2, they say they're coming soon.
Yeah, that could be either before or after. Who knows?
I really hope it's before because they all tie together, so you kind of want your guy to carry over. So. Really, I would like for them to bring out a physical version, just have all 3 of them on one cart. That would really be nice. I would buy that.
Limited Run, are you listening?
Yeah. We'll see how that goes with Limited Run. They've got their first release for the Switch Friday. I forget which game it is now. I've already forgot. It was one
That's not a good sign.
Well, I can't remember. My brain is so mushy with things right now anyway. I don't remember what game it was, but I'm going to try to get it and see how it goes with Limited Run. I have terrible luck buying Limited Run games. Usually I put them in my cart, go to check out, and they sell out while I'm in the middle of checking out. So I kind of give up on them. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt with the Switch stuff and try it again. I can't remember. I have to look it up. Hyper Light Drifter is coming out this summer. That always looked like a cool game. I've never played it, but I've always wanted to.
It'll be definitely a good game for the Switch.
Yeah. What else?
Nidhogg 2. That is a fun couch co-op type little fighting game thing that would be perfect on Switch.
Yeah. What else?
Because it's been on Steam for a long time, but with Switch, it's a home console, so it's a lot easier to just kind of pick up and play than doing it with the PC version. But it's really cool on PC. Yeah. Crashlands is a game I played. That was really good.
Oh, is it? I had never heard of it until...
Talked about it on the show a year and a half ago or something. It came out on PC and mobile before a while ago.
I vaguely, after you said that, maybe I can't remember. It's been a while.
But yeah, it's a fun little game. They'd have to mess with the control system somehow I don't remember if it had like a controller setup or not because it's all very much like point and click type interface on PC
Yeah.
and like touch based for iOS. So I don't know how they're going to do it on the Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. Lightfall looked pretty cool. That one looked like an interesting one.
This is just continuing the trend of having a bunch of good indie games on Switch, even if they've already been out on like PC or something. A lot of them, they're really cool games to play on something that you can do handheld.
And I'm happy to double dip on some of those. I've got Banner Saga 1 and 2 on the Xbox One, I think. I think I got them with gold or something like that. I don't remember.
I want Hollow Knight to come out on Switch. It's supposed to at some point. I haven't looked in a while to see when that is. Played that on PC, but I'll totally get it on Switch because it'd be really fun to do that in handheld.
What I really wish they would start doing with all these releases is let me know if they're going to be physical and digital, or they're going to be digital only. Don't give me one in the summer that's digital and then 3 months later go, here's the physical version, because now I'm kind of gun shy about buying.
Most of these you can just pretty much assume they're going to be digital because a lot of these are small teams.
Yeah. And
so only some of the bigger ones you can think maybe they'll be a physical, maybe.
Yeah. It's like Owlboy. I really wanted to play Owlboy on the Switch the day it come out. And I went, well, let me wait and see if they're doing a physical version. And sure enough, here they announced like a week after it came out, hey, we're doing a physical version. It won't be out till May 30th, but we're doing a physical version. And I'm happy to wait till May 30th, instead of buying
there
twice.
are smaller teams, and so getting up the physical one has a lot more hoops you got to jump through, so it just takes longer, especially when you don't have like a big department to take care of it for you.
Well,
and I'm sure it helps when your sales are good from the digital, and they're like,
yeah.
People buying the game. Here's the physical. Okay.
Yeah, and that does too. And I understand that, but at the same time, it makes it hard for me to want to double dip because I really would rather have it physical on Switch than I would digital, just because.
Honestly, I'm a reverse for a lot of these indie games because they're going to be small enough you can fit them.
Well, that's
a bunch
true.
Of them. They're not as big as the AAA games taking up a ton of space.
As long as
they're just there, I can choose it from the menu and just launch it and play it.
Yeah.
And that way, I don't, especially for ones that are like pixel art that I'm specifically getting to play in handheld mode. So I'm going to be on the go anyway. I don't want to have to be swapping carts as much for that if they're just there on my system.
That's true.
That's more how I want them.
Well, and a lot of them, that's the way I look at them, is what size are they? If they're small size, then I don't mind so much. If it's a bigger 2 or 3 gig game, then I kind of let me wait and see if they come out with it. There was another one that Yonder they're bringing out on Switch, and it'll be physical and digital. The thing is with the digital, I think it's $20 or $25. The physical version is $40, and I don't know why it's so much more expensive. I know it's usually $10 more expensive, but not $20.
Maybe it's just a very limited number of copies to where it's more expensive than even normal to manufacture. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. I pre-ordered it, so it's one of the 15. I counted them up yesterday. It's one of the 14 or 15 Switch games I have pre-ordered that come out between now and the end of the year. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I haven't got anything pre-ordered, but I don't pre-order very much. And when I do, it's like, hey, the week before, and I know this is probably good. So, actually, I'm probably going to pre-order God of War for PS4 because they have the preview stuff this week for that.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'll go ahead and pre-order that.
I almost did, but I don't know when I will play it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's the next big game I've been looking forward to. So
I'm not a huge God of War fan. I mean, I like God of War and I like the story.
Played the original 3.
Really?
Apart from a little bit of a demo of God of War 3, as all I've ever played, and I want to play this one because it looks a lot more like a Horizon or an Uncharted style of game, versus the old God of War.
Yeah,
so
and
I'm a lot more interested in it because of that.
Yeah, and I'll probably. I mean, it'll be one that it's not like it's only it's going to be hard to find after the first 2 weeks because everybody's going to be buying up. So it's like, I'm not in a huge hurry to get it.
But if I pre-order it, then Amazon gives me money off.
Well, yeah, and I mean, really, that's the only reason why I've pre-ordered as much as I have, because it's like, if I pre-order a $30 Switch game or a $40 Switch game, I'm getting $8 to $10 off of it. It's like, well, I can go ahead and do that, and then usually what I end up doing is just taking I don't want to wait. I want to pay for it before it comes out, so I'll just go and grab a $20 gift card, and then I can just apply it to the order and just kind of pay it off a little bit at a time. So, I mean, it's like of the 15 games I have on pre-order, half of them are already paid off. I mean, it's funny to go to look down on your open orders and it's 0, 0, 0, 0. It's like, I can live with that. And that's what happened with Ni no Kuni. I pre-ordered it, and then, over the summer went and bought gift cards and paid it off, and then I totally forgot about it. And then it just popped up in the mail one day. It's like, here's your game. It's like, ooh, I like that. That's fun. I gotta scroll back up through the chat. I think Farsender had a question. Here we go. I have a question. Whoop, I went too far. No, it didn't go far enough. Let's see. I have a question for later in the show. Simple one, really. Does Microsoft lack exclusives and high-scoring metagames?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually remember, and I was wondering what you guys thought after Sea of Thieves. Yeah, I mean, I take Metacritic with a grain of salt. I mean, I see when it's a really high-profile game, 95 on Metacritic. Metacritic does nothing for me as far as
all that's
buying
doing is just kind of doing their algorithm to total all the stuff from everywhere else.
Yeah.
So you can get okay, people are really positive on this game, but that could still be, 80s. They're still positive on this game. Even 70s could be. Most people are still pretty positive on the game. So you could take it to varying degrees. A little further down, he says that Sea of Thieves didn't light the world on fire. Yeah, it's a little early for that yet. But is there anything Microsoft can offer that can do that? Set the world on fire? Sure, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and, it's really strange this gen with that, Last gen with the 360, I mean, it was just bam, 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 bam. Microsoft had, this game and that game.
Some of that was also, they had some of theirs, but then there was also a bunch of the third-party stuff
right.
Thought of as 360 because they were on top. Whereas now, PS4, you think of some of those as those games just belong there.
Right.
Even though it's not Sony making them.
I don't know. What worried me with Sea of Thieves was if it didn't sell well, is this kind of I don't want to say a last straw for the Xbox One or Microsoft I
don't think so.
I don't think
I think
so.
Sea of Thieves is going to do well for them because it's a good Twitch game.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean,
it's going to do fairly well just because of that.
And it's funny you mention that. The first night on, I asked Matt this the day it came out. I said, "Hey, you getting Sea of Thieves?" And he was like, I don't think so. I said, what's funny is that game's the #1 viewed game on Twitch today. It's
still up there.
Yeah, and it's still up there.
So I think because it's fun watching, if you don't have a group of friends to play it or you just don't have it, it's still fun to watch people doing pirate hijinks.
Yeah.
That's something new. It's actually something that Xbox has put out that's not a sequel to something.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff that they've done so far and some of the things we know that are coming up is hey, here's this franchise again. And that's not going to set the world on fire no matter how good it is because we know about. We know, what a Gears of War is like. We know what a Halo is like. We know what a Forza is like. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel new. Even though the game could be super awesome, it's still not going to get everybody hyped about it.
Right. Well, and that's a funny thing. Right before Sea of Thieves came out, it was hype, and everybody was, Sea of Thieves, this is going to be so cool. And then the game comes out, and everybody's like, wait a minute, this isn't, we thought it was going to be full of this and that, and it's really not. And then all of a sudden, it was Friday morning, it was just everybody was, yes, this game is great. And then by Friday evening, they were like, what is going on? There's nothing more to do. And it's I've never seen a quick turnaround.
They did a really good job of building the different beta things, and having timing it out well to build the hype for the game. But then when it actually came out, there wasn't anything extra that much. There's a few little things that are different than those things, but anyone who's played them or watched them was paying attention to it was where's the new stuff? This just seems like the same, even though there is different stuff that wasn't there before. It's just not a lot of it.
I told somebody,
so it's kind of flipped on them. They hyped
Yeah.
it really well, and then they didn't have enough to support that hype when they finally got to the release.
We kind of talked about it in the Slack chat with the guys from the site. You know, everybody was so against digital only with the Xbox, or, you know, digital locking of your game. You know, you get a physical and a digital code, but once you use that digital code, then, you know, that game was locked to your system unless you had, you know, if you traded that game, then somebody would have to buy another license, like a PC game for it, you know. And now we've, you know, 4 or 5 years later, however long it's been, now we're at the point where Microsoft is $10 a month, and you can get, you know, all our games digitally, you know, 100 games digitally on our, you know, on the system. Is this like maybe if Game Pass does real well, could we see the next Xbox be digital only? Do you think they would go that far that quick?
It depends on when it comes out, and probably not. They
I
might
still
have
don't
it where
think the
it's
next gen will.
80-20, like, okay, or whatever percentage of, like, we want you to do all this digital and look
Yeah.
at all this cool stuff, but we still have this, you can still buy it, and it's because of all the, you know, retail.
Yeah.
If they completely cut out retail, they're not going to be happy.
Well, and that's true too, but I mean, golly, how many retail places are left other than GameStop? I mean, Toys R Us is closing down. They carry games. You got Walmart and Target.
But your Walmart's, your Targets.
But I don't
Best
go.
Buys.
I don't buy games at Walmart and Target. I really don't buy games at Best Buy unless they're on sale.
yeah, but plenty of people do.
Yeah, I know.
They have a pretty good like pre-order rewards program.
Yeah, they do. But, you know, I do all mine. If I do any games buying anymore, I mean, if it's something I want immediately, I go to GameStop. If not, I buy it from Amazon and just have it shipped to the house.
Same.
I mean,
I think
Yeah,
the
I
question
mean-
is, can Microsoft sell digital only like Valve sold digital only?
yeah, I mean,
Because PCs, if you
That's
go to
gonna be tougher nowadays than it was back then. Back
Yeah.
then, still a bunch of just like anger and stuff about it, but the internet wasn't as sophisticated and grown up then as it is now, to where there's so many more platforms to scream and yell from.
well, yeah, that's true too.
So it'll be much more difficult to kind of do that.
But if you look at your PC, if you build a budget PC anymore, how many come with a CD-ROM drive? Laptops don't come with CD-ROM drives anymore. They're just like, you don't need them.
because CD's
Nothing
old,
does.
yo.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and it's like games
Yeah,
don't
optical
come on
drives
USB.
not much.
Yeah, the USB drives don't come. Like, there's no real way to get physical media for the PC anymore, unless you already have it on an external hard drive. In which case, somebody else just put it on there for you. No
You
judgment.
still see a few random things on the side of the shelves at Target that's like, hey, get this thing for whatever, some of the big games, but yeah. Most of
and
it's
look-
not going to be there.
Like, GameStop has a PC section, and it's literally like there's the World of Warcraft war chest that they made 10 bajillion of, and we're still selling from the 1990s.
Well, half of them are like
and cards. Yeah, they're cards.
Yeah, and it's just
So
cards.
it's like, hey, download.
Mhm.
Oh, I
it's
threw
a
mine
download
away. I had a
code.
card here. I was going to say.
You got your
And-
Minecraft, you got 11 billion MMOs, all that
and
type
then,
of
yeah,
stuff.
it's Minecraft gift cards. It's like
World of
all the
Warcraft
like
is usually
Asian
in there.
game mobile gift card
Mhm.
theme. Like,
I don't know, but I was the one that said I would never get Game Pass, never get Game Pass. There was nothing on it, and there wasn't. There really was nothing on it that interested me enough to get Game Pass. Once Sea of Thieves came out, I got Game Pass because I was like, well, I may only play that game for a couple months, and I don't want to spend $60 on it right now. I just don't. But now going back through, what's really cool about one of the cool things about Game Pass is a lot of the games I own are on Game Pass. Well, I have like Tomb Raider. I have the Halo collection. I have Halo 5. I have Gears of War. Those are all on Xbox Pass. I don't ever have to put my disc in the system again. It knows that I have that game installed on it from my disc, and it just automatically just plays it without having a disc in it anymore. It's like, this is kind of what Microsoft wanted from the beginning.
and the install feature from the 360
Yeah,
games
yeah.
neutered performance somehow. But
Yeah, but like, and there's even 360 games on there that I have that are on, that I installed that I have the disc for, but since I have Game Pass, it knows that and says, "Oh, you own that disc game, but it's on Game Pass too. You've already installed it off of a disc. Don't worry, you don't have to install anything else again. It'll just magically play by itself. It's all good. You're fine. You're fine here. Everything's normal." And this week I was kind of going, "That's kind of cool."
Welcome to PC games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, and I have PC games, and I'm used to that on PC.
Then you get the problem of you have your Steam library or whatever, where you have it, however much you actually want to install it.
Right.
But like at least a dozen games. Like, which one do I play?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, but
Too many choices.
I'm not used to that on a console, and
Yeah.
I was sitting here going, "Okay, this is nice. I like this. I like this." And I was one of the ones, you can go back somewhere where I've archived these shows, and we talked about the press conference with Xbox or Microsoft and Sony when they came out with the announcement of the Xbox and the PS4, and I was the one that said, I'm fine with getting a physical disc and a code and never using, I don't care. I'm fine with that, and if I want to buy a used game, fine, I'll pay $10, and then, now I can just pay $10 and get any 100 games that I want, plus the games some of the games I've
problems
got.
with the console that if they wanted to go digital only, they need to put way bigger hard drives in.
Yeah, I have a 4 terabyte external on my. I think I've got 4 terabyte on the Xbox and 3 on the PS4, but I have a 2 terabyte built into the 3. A terabyte and a half on the PS4, but I have nothing on it other than game saves. Everything else.
I'm more than happy to manage my games that are on there. If I'm not playing it, I just uninstall it, and then if I think that I might want to play something, I can reinstall it from the mobile app while I'm at work. It's just
That's how I
not a
do it
big
with
deal.
Steam. Is I have I tag them because they let you tag games, and you can tag in multiple categories. So I have them divided by genre, but then I have a now playing section.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing it, I have it there. So I just have to look at a few, and then there's some stuff I'm just not ever going to uninstall, like Rocket League, because every once in a while I'll get in the mood to boot it up.
Yeah.
But if it's something I'll play through, a game like Tomb Raider or whatever I'm playing through, finish it, uninstall it,
I think.
reinstall it if I want to, because internet speed's fast enough. It doesn't take that long.
I think I have 237 games on my Xbox account, and I think I have about 80 of them installed on my Xbox at the moment.
Oof.
On my PS4, it's a whole different story. There's a lot on the PS4, but I have over 1,000.
All that stuff.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I have it all divided up into folders. You can do folders.
So do I, but even my folders are getting long in the tooth.
Yeah, see, I just go A, B, C, or A, and maybe put a couple of letters together, or like you do, like you said on Steam, I have these are the games I want to play now, so I'll move them over to this folder for now. Maybe I have a folder with 3 or 4 games like Monster Hunter and Yakuza or Horizon or whatever else I want to play, and it's just right there right now. But
Oh, that reminded me of something funny. So the No Clip guys, they were at GDC and they were showing their Horizon Zero Dawn dock there, and it's somehow through that they got connected to getting their videos on Steam to start that. So they put the Horizon documentary on Steam as a video, and then later tweeted out, "We're sorry to all you PC people who thought Horizon was coming to the PC because they confused people with it."
Yeah, I
because of
bet.
the thumbnail that shows up, and the thumbnail showed up in the store, they didn't realize it was just a video.
Yeah, I bet people freaked out. I could see that.
Dude, I would play that game on PC. It looked that much even nicer than it does on
I
PS4.
would, yeah. I tell you what, I actually booted up Sea of Thieves on the PC just real quick just to see what it looked like. And this PC will run it. The highest is Legendary. I forget what the step below is, but that's whatever it
All
was.
those stupid terms. that
Yeah,
don't-
there's no,
every game does different.
it's the second to the highest.
Medium,
Yeah.
medium high,
This
high, supreme,
Yeah.
PC Master Race.
You usually get like low, medium, high, and ultra is what most
Yeah.
games usually do, and then you could just customize all the settings.
Yeah.
and
I guess
Nitty gritty it if you want.
Legendary would be Ultra, and then the one below it would be High, and that's what I could run it at as High. And it looks so much better on PC than it does on Xbox.
I think one of the things I bet that would be different is further draw distance that you can get away with.
The draw distance and the water looks so much better on the PC. I sat here and stood at the dock and just went, just watching the water, and the light, the way the light hit off of it, and it was just like,
yeah, if you have the rig to run it, reflections make water look way better on PC.
You know, and I'm running the Xbox on upstairs. I was playing Sea of Thieves upstairs on the 4K TV, you know, and it was just like, it looks all right. I come down here on the PC on the 1080p, running it on high res on the PC, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks so much better. So this must be what it's like to play on an Xbox One X, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't even know, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And the Game Pass right now, if you want to try Sea of Thieves, I definitely say do it on Game Pass. You get a month and 14 days trial. And then if you don't want to play it anymore, you're not interested in it, cancel it before your trial's up and you're good. Yeah. And that's even on PC.
So I don't buy a lot of games very often because I'm like, I play one game and then I like go back to another game I already have to either complete it or do whatever. So I like buy maybe one game every 2 months, unless there's a Steam sale, and then I'm just kind of like make it rain. But so I think that might actually be a good deal for me, purely because it's like, well, now I don't have to buy these games. I can try them out a little bit. I can get my like 10 hours in and be like, I tried it.
Yeah.
And then like not commit to anything.
Exactly. Or wait till it comes on sale.
I think that might be interesting to see your attitude towards it, because it'll be a lot more like Netflix, where it's like, I don't have to care. I can just try it, and like, I don't have to commit to it. Whereas if you pay $60 for a game, you're like, I must play it because I paid. Yeah.
Well, it's like Burnout Paradise. You know, it came out 2 weeks ago for $40 or whatever, and then the very next week, GameStop put it on sale for $30, and it was like, man, I'm glad I didn't buy that. You know, the first week.
The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, no, why did you do it this way?
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's 60 frames a second guaranteed unless you're on the higher end consoles.
I believe that's true.
And then for PC, it's like, okay, yeah, it'd be cool to have the island, which I can't do on my version that I've already got, but it doesn't really look that much better or different. I'm like, if I want to play, I can play on Burnout I already own.
Yeah, and I have it on PC, and I have it on Xbox Game Pass on the 360 if I really want to play it.
The only good thing is if they get a lot more people just in the game now, so that there's people playing it more, that would be cool, because that's definitely a game that's more fun to just be social and hang out in the online mode, just doing random stuff.
Yeah, but what's that, Matt? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I think Games Pass, Microsoft as a whole, seems to be shifting away from like one-off software and trying to get more into like as a service. Like the industry as a whole is doing that anyways.
Yeah.
Well, at least the big players for sure.
Yeah, definitely the big players. But like Word, like all the Office studios are like, we're not going to sell you Word.
Nope.
We're not going to sell you Excel anymore. We're going to sell you Office 365, and you can
guys,
pay us $15 a
Office
month.
really hasn't changed all that much for like a decade. So
it
stop
hasn't.
trying to do subscriptions.
Well, they
I get it taken off taxes, so I just do a subscription anyway.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything innovative there, but you also get a free copy on cell phone and mobile, and then you get like extra gigs on OneDrive or whatever, and then they use that to sync it across all your devices.
Right.
So then you can start typing a Word doc on your cell phone when you're pooping. And then
that's very important.
Yeah.
And that's very important. Like, I have a great idea. And then when you like finally get back to your PC, half an hour later, because you lost concentration,
your legs went to sleep.
Yeah. Then you can just pick right back up from there. And I think that they're trying to figure out how to do that with gaming. But they're not there yet, and so I don't think Microsoft is going to commit to anything huge until they can find that like eureka moment.
Well,
I think it'll be very interesting how we feel about all of this after E3 this year.
Yeah,
because Microsoft maybe just has some stuff held back, and then we'll go after E3 and be like, wow, look at all that stuff that they had. Or maybe it'll just be a couple things that they show off there, and we're like, they really didn't do anything. It'll be interesting to see which side of that we feel like afterwards.
Well, I tell you, they're real close with the day one stuff on the Game Pass with Sea of Thieves. I'm real anxious to see if they announce any numbers on how much, how many Game Pass subscriptions that they got, since Sea of Thieves came out, because that's exactly what I did day one, and I know a lot of people did.
Now the better number will be how many stick around past their free
exactly.
trials.
yeah, exactly. Because one, I wished Sony. I like the Sony streaming service, whatever they call it, the Play Now or whatever it is, but it's streaming. You don't download the games. I like the ability to download because it runs better.
Yeah.
It's not eating bandwidth. It's it makes more sense. And if Sony did something like that on the PlayStation,
I was like,
I would
how long are they
going to
just incorporate that into the PlayStation Now to where Sony titles, you can download them?
Yeah, I would totally be cool with that.
Like Netflix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can download some.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, like with Netflix, it's a lot of the first-party Netflix titles. Those are the ones you can download.
I would be interested to see Nintendo do it with the classic console on the Switch. Or virtual console,
Make
NES.
it a literal virtual console where it's just like, I want to play this game. All right, bro, get it.
Yeah, I want to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on the NES. I want to play Chrono Trigger on the Super NES. I want to play a GameCube game, or I want to put whatever you got classic-wise. Make it a Netflix service, or Netflix-style service.
It would be interesting if that got them around a lot of their licensing issues, because I know a lot of those old games have licensing restrictions, but they're very you can't sell these games anymore. It's like, but if we're streaming, we're not selling them.
Well, that's that's true too. I don't know if that would work or not. But
maybe that's all what they're trying to figure out.
Well, that could be.
Maybe that's why they're getting pushed back month after. It's like, we haven't figured out how to rewrite this contract so we can beat Nintendo yet.
Or they could just do like Sega did when they released Crazy Taxi on the 360 and they lost all the rights to the songs and they just put off-ball songs in there, and it was like, it wasn't the same game. It just, without hearing some of that music, it was just like, this isn't the same game as it was before. But I don't know. It'll be real interesting. I mean, E3's just right around the corner. I mean, we're almost there, so it'll be real interesting to see what everybody announces and where.
We're also at the end of Q3 of the year, quarter of the year, so we should see those numbers come out for LastPass very soon. Yeah.
So I don't know, but like I say, definitely, if you want to try out Sea of Thieves, do the Game Pass trial, even on PC. I mean, you don't have a large variety of games like you do on Xbox because you don't have all the 360 games, but all the first party Microsoft games. Well, I say all the first party. Forza 7's not there. Forza 5's not there. No, the Forza games are there, but. All the ones that are on PC, or, you can play them. It's worth a try. If you have Windows 10, that's a big thing. You got to have Windows 10. Sorry, Nathaniel.
Oh, I'm all right.
Let's see. Anything else before we sign off? I can't think of anything else. Matt, you said you were going to try to stream Wednesday?
Wednesday, yes.
Wednesday?
D&D on Tuesday now. So.
Okay. So that one, I know you're going to try to stream. I'm going to try to stream a couple times this week, if I can. Other than that, I don't think we got anything big going on. Robert, you said you were going to try to stream sometime Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get a schedule set up and add it to the countdown clock here on the Twitch channel so people can come and see exactly what days and when, put them on a calendar here. So if we can get to a schedule, but I know things come up. People have, lives that interfere with things. So, we may not be 100%. Yes, I'm going to be there every week. I'm going to try to, but a lot of things are going to depend on how the wife's getting around. If I can drug her up enough to knock her out long enough that I can come downstairs for her. Terrible. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Nathaniel, when you shake your head like that, it's a joke.
To be clear to the people listening on the podcast that can't see us.
Yeah.